All right. Good evening, everyone. So good to see you all here. If you have any friends or family or anyone that you know that need to be on this tour today, we are in Savannah, Georgia, all the way in Savannah, Georgia. SSU is in the house today. So I want to go ahead and turn it over to Mr. Karsten Tyson, who is the Assistant Director of Admissions at Savannah State University. And if you have questions, he will be happy to answer any questions. If you received the link that I sent you, there is a list of questions. If you don't know what to ask, there are some ideas of some questions that you could ask him as well. But this is just intended to be completely conversational, laid back. This is your opportunity to learn more about being an SSU Tiger. Did I say that right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. There you go. Thank you, Karsten.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. I'm so excited to be here. My name is Karsten Tyson. Thank you, Ms. Calhoun, for having me. As she said, I am the Assistant Director of Admissions here at Savannah State University. So that's a fancy way of saying I work the magic, the behind the scenes magic to helping people get to college. And it is something that I enjoy and something that I am really, really, really excited about. I know it might have been a long day for some of you all. I know y'all enjoying your summer vacation, your summer break, and all that good stuff. If you're doing any type of academic enrichment, keep at it. So I won't worry your patience too long. So what we're gonna do, because I do want this to be a laid back informational session. If you have questions at any time, I'm gonna ask Ms. Calhoun to just kind of monitor the chat and we can get the questions answered. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start off a little bit with some information about Savannah State University. Then I'll share my screen and share a video with you, and then we'll just go into some good Q&A and all that good stuff. And without any further ado, let's get this party popping. A few fun facts about Savannah State University. We are the oldest public HBCU in the state of Georgia. We were established in 1830, and no, I'm sorry, 1890. I'm sorry. So that means that we have been celebrating 130 years of educating young minds and getting people to their next greater place. Our student teacher ratio is about 20 to 1. So we're not a massive campus and we're not like microscopically small. So we're a good small to medium sized campus. We have right at a little over 3,000 students. And so Savannah is a very beautiful city. It's an urban city. It's the fifth largest city in the state of Georgia. It's not hopping like Atlanta, but there's always something to do. And in fact, we're 20 miles, 20 minutes away from the beach. The beach is 20 minutes that way. And then if you don't want to go to Tybee Island, which is our local beach, Hilton Head Island is an hour up the road. And then you also got the Jacksonville Daytona beach is 2 hours to the south. So we're around a lot of water. And so we have over 75 plus different student organizations. We are an NCAA Division II school. We are in the same conference as Southern Intercollegiate Athletic Conference. We play schools like Morehouse, Tuskegee, Albany State, Fort Valley State, Edward Waters College. I'm trying to list all the schools I think y'all might be familiar with. And we have various study abroad programs and a lot of good stuff. And so without any further ado, I'm gonna share my screen and share a video with you guys. And we're gonna go from there.
They can aspire to careers that are seriously impressive.
Right now, we have an experiment being tested in the International Space Station.
I recently had the chance to present my work on bottlenose dolphins at an international conference in Hawaii.
The research opportunities here are amazing.
Over 80% of all the master's degrees in marine sciences for African Americans comes from Savannah State University.
Every day is a new experience. Every day is a discovery.
You definitely feel like you're a part of something big. It builds you as a person.
Savannah State University. Smart, bold, proud. With 3 colleges and 1 school, students can choose from a variety of undergraduate and graduate degrees.
I'm a marine science major.
Forensic science, Mass communication.
And Homeland Security and Emergency Management.
My major is theater.
Business management.
I'm studying to become a high school teacher and a high school softball coach.
To be a medical doctor.
To become a radio and television personality.
To further my career in public relations and advertising.
But it's very easy to get in touch with your professors. They're always there ready to talk to you.
They actually get to know you on a personal level. They actually put you in the field and they will give you the opportunity to see what work will be like.
So I'm getting a combination of real world experience and classroom experience.
Students here at SSU are doing research with big organizations such as NIH, NASA, and National Science Foundation.
Our study abroad department is huge. There's trips going to Ghana, Thailand, and Brazil almost annually.
The opportunities to explore the world at Savannah State are limitless.
Savannah State University is a great place to be, no matter where you are in life.
Campus life is a big part of the college experience at Savannah State University.
There's nothing better than Savannah State football game.
I'm a huge fan of SSU athletics, and the best thing is they're all free for students.
Our sports events are so lively and exciting. Everyone cheers and everyone gets really loud.
It is amazing to be a part of the Savannah State family because I'll be a Tiger for life and I love it here. My first reaction on seeing campus is, wow, this place has so much history here. It's beautiful, filled with palm trees.
The atmosphere here on campus is very open, very inviting.
There are many ways for you to become involved in Savannah State's campus.
As a Hispanic, I'm glad that Savannah State is so inclusive of other cultures and that there are a lot of student organizations for us to join and be a part of. Living in the dorms makes forming study groups easier, as well as living away from home because you are around your peers.
Savannah State University is located in one of America's most beautiful destinations.
I chose Savannah State because of its location.
The best thing about being close to Savannah is the arts and the culture.
There's a lot of diversity and a lot of opportunities.
It's all in the name, University of the Sea. I was amazed at how close to the ocean we really were.
Just a few minutes, a short drive, so it's a great place to relax.
I go to the beach because who doesn't want to go to the beach?
In the words of Richard R. Wright, our first president, we are rising.
We are rising to excellence.
To increase minorities in science.
To become leaders in our communities.
To become premier researchers in our fields.
Coming here, I've learned so much about myself.
Savannah State is a great place to come get your start and learn your craft.
I really feel like the distinguished business school here has set me up for future success.
Savannah State has allowed for me to make my own decisions and become independent.
Do it. Come to Savannah State.
This humble institution will change your life forever.
We are Savannah State University. Join us.
All right. How many of y'all just ready to jump right in and start and go ahead and get your application into Savannah State? This humble institution will change your life forever. It will, and that's just not hype. There are so many alumni that have testimonies about what Savannah State University has meant to them and how it has literally changed the trajectory of their life. So here at Savannah State, we're one university, but we're divided into 4 divisions. And so they are the College of Business Administration, the College of Education, the College of Liberal Arts and Social Sciences, as well as the College of Science and Technology. So definitely, we would love for you all to take advantage of everything that we have to offer here. Our top 3 most popular majors are biology, business, and criminal justice. And here's a fun fact for you. Savannah State University was the first university in the state of Georgia to offer an undergraduate program in emergency management and homeland security. And so emergency management and homeland security, if you even think about what we witnessed in Washington, D.C. with the scourge of the Capitol on January 6th, homeland security still is a major issue, not necessarily with just foreign entities, but domestic entities. I mean, that was an internal attack against our democracy. And so homeland security has always been something that has been that we need to give attention to, as well as emergency management. So that deals with how to help city leaders and municipalities navigate through natural disasters, like, for example, a hurricane, or as we saw back in January when the people in Houston and different parts of Texas were paralyzed by ice storms and they were without power, and it was like bitterly cold for like almost for like maybe a couple of weeks. So that's things that we need to also be mindful of. I think someone was about to ask a question. Okay, no? Okay, so I mentioned natural disasters. So Savannah State University, as I did mention, we are 20 minutes away from the beach. And so that means because we are a coastal town, we are on high alert for hurricanes. And so for the last year and a half or so, we've been really fortunate. But however, when in the event that there is a hurricane or some type of natural disaster that is imminent, uh, the city does go under evacuation orders. I live in zone one. I live relatively close to the university, so I'm in that first group of people that get told, hey, y'all got to go. If you choose to stay here, you're on your own. And so typically when that happens, I'm originally from North Carolina, so I'll go up to either Raleigh or Charlotte. And so, but in the event that because you guys are around the Atlanta metro area, that typically is further inland, and so we would not preclude a student from going home to seek shelter. So if your parents say, you coming home now, it would not be in our place as an institution to say you can't go home unless the conditions are perilous and would put you in imminent danger. But we would, the way that weather forecasts work now and all that good stuff, we would have, unless it's like an F4 tornado that pops up out of the middle of nowhere, we have enough forecasting ability to be able to put out, hey, the university will be closed, go home. And so that's one of the things that I'm really proud of. So a lot of things, as you all have already noticed, are just different this year with the pandemic. And one of the things that I'm really proud of about Savannah State is how we handled the pandemic. We actually offered testing on campus, as well as we were a vaccination site. For students and faculty to get vaccinated. So one of the questions that come up with me, that comes up very often as I'm working with students and parents, is, do I have to be vaccinated? So I'm gonna tell you this, and then I'll explain my answer. You have to do what's best for you and your family. I'm gonna put it out there, I'm vaccinated. But the University System of Georgia has not mandated that students have the corona vaccine. I will say this, if you are, especially if you're thinking about living on campus, you're living in congregant living and close living proximities with other people, and you don't know whose air they've been breathing. So you do want to have a layer of protection, and I would want you to have like a layer of protection so you can feel confident as you not only take care of yourself, but other people in your life that you love, because we don't want anyone to come here and then just contract a potentially deadly airborne virus and just be an asymptomatic carrier. So we've done a lot of things on campus to prevent that. And so that's one of the things that I'm really proud of. So I do see a question in the chat. Can you be in the band and be in sororities at the same time? I want you to focus on the last word of that question, time. Um, the band is a major commitment, especially during the fall, during football season, because you will be traveling at some points to with the football team. The spring is a little bit more laid back, and then you want to give your best to any organization that you become a part of. As it relates to fraternities and sororities, again, it's the time component. So I will say this, that most of our sororities and fraternities do intake in the spring semester. And so, but you, again, if you look at that last word in your question, you have to figure out how to best manage your time. My mom used to tell me also, she's like, you can do anything, you just can't do everything. And so you really have to make those types of okay, this is what I really need to do. And so I'd rather a student not do something if it means that they're going to do really well in another area that they're really passionate about. But you can. So the short answer to that is yes. You have to be really willing to dole out your time. And since you mentioned band, what instrument are we talking about? I'll just wait for the type response. And then but there's something for everybody. Like I said, flute. Oh, we got a flautist in the house. Oh yeah, you need to come on. And so one of the things that I about our application, before I forget, because my mind is just all over the smile and wink. So my mind is just all over the place. So our application portal for students in the class of 2026. Oh my God, that sounds like so far away, but like you blink your eye, it'll be here. For 2026, the application portal will open on September 1st. Our application is free. FREE, my favorite four-letter word, free. And so you have no excuse not to apply. So you would apply through Georgia Futures. In order to be considered for admission, you have to have a 2.0 GPA, and your unweighted GPA, that has to be your HOPE GPA. All right, your HOPE GPA. All right. And then we'll get the ball rolling from there. And yes, starting 2022, I hate to tell you all this, you will have to take the SAT. Starting in 2022, you will have to take the SAT. So that means for your class coming in, you're gonna have to have test scores. Now, all your little friends that graduated this past school year, don't listen to what they told you. I'm telling you, you will have for the Georgia public universities, you will have to have your SATs. Now, some of the private institutions have already announced that they're going to be test optional through 2023. But for me and mine right now, you're gonna have starting in 2022, you're gonna have to take the test. So go ahead on and start and register to take the test. The first SAT administration is August 28th, and definitely go ahead on and get started with that, because that is an area in the years that I've done this, it's not so much the grades that our students struggle with, it's the area of test preparation. So if you're prepared for the test, the more times you take it, the more familiar you are with the material, the better you'll do. Also taught the counselors, because you could probably get NACAC test waivers, so you won't have to pay. Oh God, I don't even remember how much it is to take the SAT now. However much it is, so you can get that actually waived. Um, a question from y'all, I love y'all's names. Engine number 9 asks, what is the best way to get scholarship or financial aid at Savannah State? That is a really good question, because I'm gonna tell you right now, you are your best investment in yourself. So first thing, I want y'all to keep this date in mind, October 1st, October 1st, October 1st. Why is October 1st important, Mr. Carson? Because that is the day that the FAFSA window opens, the federal application for financial aid. That window opens, and the sooner you apply, the chances are you'll get more funding. All right. So you got your FAFSA, and also we have here at Savannah State, we'll honor your Hope Scholarship. So if you graduate from a Georgia public school or even a private school with a 3.0 GPA or higher, you will qualify to get Hope money. And so that's an important thing. Okay, my name is Jaden. Okay, that's important to remember, because not only do we want to get you admitted, matriculated, and graduated, we want to get you graduated with as little debt as possible. I was working with a student, and the young lady was in my office, and she was torn between 3 schools. And she was torn between Dillard University, which is an HBCU in Louisiana, North Carolina A&T State University, which is where I went, and then also here at Savannah State University. And so, we had to talk about the pandemic. I said, so what I want you to do is factor in the event that something were to happen, how far away do you want to be from home? Because there's such a big uncertainty about this pandemic. Even right now with the vaccine and other other treatments on the horizon, it's still a big question of uncertainty. How far away are you willing to be from your parents? In the event that they need to get to you or you need to get to them, do you want that to be a long drawn out production? And so then I also said, well, if you got hope money, you can't take your hope money to deal it. Then you take your hope money to A&T, they gonna look at you funny and say, nah, we don't take that. So I said, I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but I would go where I could get the most bang for my buck. And then there's a question that says, is it okay for us to take the ACT instead? Yes, we take both. So I didn't tell you your benchmarks for the SAT or the ACT. So on the SAT, you need to have a 480 in evidence-based reading and writing and a 440 in math. All right, 480 evidence-based reading and writing and a 480 in evidence-based reading and writing and a 440 in math. On the ACT, you have to have a 17 in math and a 17 in English or reading. All right, 17 in math, 17 in English or reading on the ACT. All right. Another question that I get asked: can freshmen have cars on campus? Yes, you must have your car registered through campus security and all that good stuff, and park in your proper parking space. You will get ticketed and booted if you don't pay them. So I've seen people learn that lesson the hard way. So yes, freshmen are allowed to have cars on campus. Our campus is patrolled 24/7. The city of Savannah is safe for the most part. It's an urban area, and just like most urban areas, you're gonna have some instances of crime. But I will say that our chief of police, as well as our mayor, are Black. And so some of the things that you've seen nationally about policing, I don't want to knock on wood, but we don't have some of those issues here in Savannah. Like I said, our chief of police, chief mentor is really good. And then our chief of campus security works well with the local Savannah municipal leaders, and they work well together, as well as our mayor, Mayor Van Johnson. He's Black and he's also a Savannah State alum. He has done a really good job of trying to keep the city safe, which is hard because Savannah is a very touristy driven city. We were the first Georgia municipality to go under a mask mandate. In fact, Atlanta didn't issue their mask mandate because they wanted to see what the fallout would be from Savannah. And so we didn't have any issue. But then as soon as Atlanta comes with their mask mandate, here comes y'all's governor. Y'all can't do that. So, but I really do love the area. Savannah's a very historic and culturally rich city. It's artistically driven. So there's a lot of good stuff going on here in Savannah, here in the city of Savannah, as well as Savannah State University. Yes, I have an email. You want me to give it to you? Yes, you can email me after this meeting is over. I would definitely love to talk with you all in more detail. Come on, I know y'all got some more questions. Ms. Calhoun, you got some questions for me? Or not? So I will put my contact information in the chat, as well as the link for the application. I would definitely love to stay in contact with you all and to help walk you through the application process, because it can't. Will we have homecoming? Yes, yes, yes. We will have homecoming. Our homecoming is October 6th. I like the way you said that. Will we have homecoming? That's somebody that know they come to Savannah State. Will we have homecoming? Yes, and look for me because I'll be out there in my blue and orange. Our homecoming is October 16th, and we play Clark Atlanta. So, Ms. Calhoun, I want you to write this date down, September 25th. September 25th is the last Saturday in September, and that is when we have our open campus day. And so we invite people to come on campus and see everything that we have to offer. You'll get tours, and you'll also have the opportunity to have an academic browse, and you can see what the academic departments have to offer. And also, get this, there's a football game, and we play Morehouse on that day. So definitely keep that date in mind, September 25th. We would love to have you all here for our open campus day, and it's a really fun event. And so this will be the first open campus day that we've had in person since 2019.
Wow.
So yeah, so we were the when we were supposed to do the one in March of 2020, that was when the whole state got shut down. Like, nope, everybody got to go home. And so, but yeah, so we are really excited to that things are starting to get back to normal and all that good stuff. So yes, and that was a long answer to yes, we will have homecoming.
I have a question for you
Mhm.
regarding dorms and residence life. How do you choose a roommate? Do you bring your own? I mean, can you pick any roommate, or do you what is your process for selection?
So if you know somebody that has been admitted to Savannah and they're committed to coming, you can email Housing and Res Life and say, "Hey, I would like to request to live with this person." All right, and then they'll try the best they can to honor the request. I will say apply for housing as soon as you can, because that is one of the first things that goes. I will also say this: be open to having a roommate that you might not have known before. I've seen best of friends go into roommate situations and then become best of enemies. I when I went to A&T, a lot of people from my high school went to A&T, and so I was like, I don't live with none of y'all. And so, but I just took a chance at I just said, hey, I'll just roll the dice and see what happens. So I got my notifications to who my roommate was. We talked on the phone. We actually talked on the phone. It wasn't a cordless phone, like the phone with the cord. That's how old I am. The phone with the cord. And no, I actually have my mom's cordless phone with the long antenna. And so and we talked and everything, and we talked about typical can't wait to meet you, that type stuff. And then we moved in on freshman. Our birthdays are a week apart, and now he's an oncologist. He's a cancer doctor, and so he was super smart. Like he was like smart. I mean, I was like, okay, I'm all right. But he was smart. He was a physics major, and so he went on to medical school. And so we actually maintained contact over the years. So when my mom got her cancer diagnosis, I actually asked him questions, and he was actually able to give me information that I would say. And my sister's a nurse, and so I'm like, well, this is what Brian said, blah blah blah, this that or else. And so I will say that be open, because some of your lifelong connections you will meet in college, and most of my people that I keep in contact with now were friends of mine in college. When are move-in dates? So for this year, our move-in dates are August. That move-in starts on August 10th. And so what they're doing in Housing and Res Life is they're assigning you a time and a date, because although it's Georgia wide open, we don't want 5,000 folk on campus at one time. And so they're doing that strategically, because we want to get people in and out without having a super crowd of people on campus. And so so move-in dates are August 10th, I think August 11th. And so you'll get like a specific move in a date and time. So like if they say you got to be here August 10th at noon, that's not negotiable. And so you'll have a 3 hour window, and you can only, I think you're only limited to two people. Cause like when I moved in A&T, like pretty much my whole family came. I'm like, y'all, but it was just like they want to see, and I was the youngest, so they want to see the baby off the school. So so yeah, so things are a little bit different. What are the SAT and ACT scores you need to get into Savannah? So for the SAT, you need a 480 in evidence-based reading and writing, and a 440 in math. All right, 480 evidence-based reading and writing, and 440 in math. All right, and then on the ACT, you need a 17 in math, and the 17 in English or reading. All right. So yeah, so keep those are the magic numbers, and then I need a 2.0. And so one of the unofficial mottos of Savannah State University is you can get anywhere from here. And that is something that we pour into our students because the world is your oyster. And once you get here, there's a student that referenced in the video about the relationships that they have with the professors. My graduate advisor, I love her, Dr. Ayanku. She is just like, she gonna write me to an early grave, but she's just really super effervescent and really passionate about her discipline, which is public policy, public administration, and governance. And so, even in the master's program at the graduate level, your professors still they care about their students and everything. And so, and school is school. It is school. It's gonna be some grunt work. You're gonna have some professors you're like, oh my God, I love them. Then you're gonna have some, oh my God, if they give me one more assignment, oh. But you'll push through, and you learn to appreciate those professors that push you. I had a professor at A&T, and I told my classmate, one of my closest friends, that she and I had multiple classes with this professor together. I said, y'all, I said, she hazed us. I said, you can't tell me she didn't haze us. But we learned a lot. It was brutal in the process, but coming out on the other side, you realize how much you learn. So a lot of times you're gonna find yourself in situations that don't necessarily feel good, but growing does not feel good. That's a good question. What does tuition pay for? Tuition, your bill is basically broken down into three things. The tuition is going to pay for your classes, all right? And then that's based on the number of credit hours that you sign up for. So typically, freshmen anywhere between 12 to 15 credit hours. So that's going to be about 4 to 5 classes. Pretty much what the typical load that you would carry in high school. So your tuition pays for your classes. All right. Housing is covered under room and board. So you got your rooming because you got to have somewhere to stay. And then your board is your meal plan component. So those are three things. And then also with the tuition, you're able to go to any athletic event on campus, any type of student SGA sponsored activities. They're typically free because we know you college students, you ain't got no money. Whatever your parents send you, because I remember them days. And then and so that's what that covers. That is a really good question. If I have done dual enrollment, will that cover part of my tuition? So your dual enrollment will shave off some of your graduation requirements, therefore reducing the number of classes that you have to take, ultimately cutting down on some of the tuition that you have to pay out. So if you have done dual enrollment, it is really important that you get the registrar at the university that you did your dual enrollment classes at to transfer to send your transcript over to our registrar's office so we can evaluate and articulate it so we can make sure that you get credit for those classes that you've taken. So that is a very good question. Will I have to have a meal plan as a freshman on campus? Yes, you will. Yes, you will. Because the rationale behind that is we don't want you living on campus, and we got this dining hall and these really good eating establishments, the Tiger Express and everything, and the Union, and you're not eating. And so, fun and exciting news. We will be getting a Chick-fil-A on campus in the fall. I'm just gonna say in the fall, because if I say August, I'll probably jinx it. Probably won't get here until right before homecoming. So we gonna get a Chick-fil-A on campus in the fall semester. In a perfect world, it would be ready when y'all get here on August the 10th. But that's what we got going on. What are the dorms like? Bathrooms in the dorms. So we have several different types of dorms. We have one dorm that's single gender, and it's a men's dorm. It's Richard Wright Hall. We do have one traditional dorm. If any of y'all ever remember the TV show A Different World, If you think about the dorm rooms that Whitley and Dwayne and Denise and all of them were in, that type of dorm with the hallway and the shower on that particular floor. We do have dorms that are co-ed by suite and by floor. So typically you will share your room, you share your bathroom with your roommate and maybe 3 or 4 other people in your suite. So the dorms are really they're really nice. Most of the freshmen, you will live on what we call the top of campus, which is where the Freshman Living and Learning Center, Richard R. Wright, Tiger Place, and all those dorms are. And then the upperclassmen, the sophomores through grad students live in the bottoms. So they live down there where University Commons is and University Village is. Would it be possible for dual enrollment to cover your entire first year of college? Yes. And when I say yes, I mean that if you come in with the max number of 30 dual enrollment credits, that's pretty much the equivalent of your freshman year of college. And so and so you'll be coming in with enough credits to be classified to be potentially classified as a sophomore, and then you're looking at getting out of school in maybe 3 to 3.5 years. So that's going to cut down your shrink. That's going to shrink your matriculation time from 4 years to 3.5 to 3 to 3.5 years. How do you go about paying for books? Well, you walk right on over there to that place called the bookstore with your class schedule, and you pick out your books and swipe your card. But no, seriously, so you can rent books. So if you do opt to rent books, you have to return them at the end of the semester. And so there are a lot of books in the bookstore and everything. So definitely you would take your credit, you would take your schedule over there and pick your book out. Now, what we used to do when I was in school, and I don't recommend this, but you know, it might work for y'all. We wouldn't get our books to the first week of class until we got through the first week of class. So A, we were going to try to figure out who was going to stay in the class, and B, if we were going to wait to see if the professor told us if we really needed the book. And so sometimes that might work in your favor. I mean, like your credit hours and stuff. Jaden, I'm not sure what you're asking. Um, Help me out. Can you clarify that a little bit for me?
Jaden, can you unmute and ask?
I'm sorry, it was connected with the first question.
Okay. Um, okay. So if I've done dual enrollment, would that cover part of my tuition? Like, oh, so I mean, like credit hours and stuff. So yeah. So like that
Yeah.
will. Okay. So basically, you would be transferring those credits in, and that would actually reduce. And if all those credits go over, which they should, you would basically reduce your degree program by about almost 25%. So like I said, that would put you getting out of here in like 3 years to 3.5 years instead of like the traditional 4 years. Did I answer your question?
Yes.
Okay, good. Anybody else got any
Yes, sir.
questions?
So in the dorm, what can they bring? So I think we may have some seniors online tonight, but what can they bring? Can they bring their own mini fridge, or what's the
Yes, you
suggestion?
can bring a mini fridge and a microwave. I should know, but I don't know the wattage off the top of my head. Your refrigerator it can't be like your refrigerator and your microwave can't have a certain wattage, because if it does, you will shut the dorm down. And so they recommend that you get the power strips instead of extension cords and all kinds of things like that. And even like when it comes to like dorm stuff, there are a list of things that are taboo. You can't have candles in your dorm room. I mean, I know some of the ladies like the what is it, Bath and Body candles and all that. You can't have it. You've been burn the whole place down. So yeah, so yeah. Also, one of the things that we have on campus is Dress for Success Wednesday. And also in the Camp Fried Chicken Wednesday. But typically on Wednesdays, those are the days that particularly the older students dress for success as if they're going out into the work world, because some of them will actually be leaving campus to go to their internship sites. And so they typically spruce up their appearance and everything. And so that's something that we have to look forward to. I try to remember to dress up on Wednesdays, but I be forgetting. But also, one thing I did not touch on is the diversity that we have on campus. Even though we are an HBCU, we are diverse in the fact that we do have a good number of international students from different countries like Nigeria, different parts of Asia, and our our SGA president elect Druvy, she is Indian American, and so we're really excited about that. So although like, oh my God, it's a black school, yes, but there is a layer of diversity even within our blackness. Um, are there certain things we aren't allowed to have outdoors? So the big things are candles. Anything that you think could emanate any type of spark or fire, no. If it lights up, no. If it smokes, no. And so one of the things my boss says is that when new students come here, I don't want you to get sad. You got to remember why you came to school, and I don't want you to be sad. Now there are going to be some times you're going to be cranking out them papers. You're going to be sad, but SAD is his acronym for sex, alcohol, and drugs. And I get it. I have been there. Some of y'all gonna be away from your parents for the first time. You just got to see what the world has to offer. But you can't get so caught up in those things that you lose sight of why you're here. You're here to get an education. You're here to improve yourselves. And we know that as parents, we know that we are not your only influence, and we can just only send you out and pray, Lord Jesus, please, please, please cover them. But that so we don't want you to get caught up in that. And so I will say, if you do get engaged, if you do get tangled, or look, entangled with sad, and they will escort your sad stuff out of here. So we have a very low tolerance for drugs and alcohol on campus, and so because we want this, because when you are under the influence of those things, you don't make the best decisions, and we want to make this as safe of an environment for everyone. So don't be sad when you come to Savannah State.
Karsten, there our representative from our next school is not on right now, so if you don't mind, there's a few more questions if while we have your attention and you have a captive audience.
Okay,
Have a
well,
couple.
I'm gonna just type my contact information in here.
Okay.
Someone asked for that earlier, and I'm gonna put my email address and my direct contact. And Miss Calhoun, after this, I want you to email me your mailing address, and I can see if I can get some goodies out for you, because this has been a really good audience. Okay.
Thank you. So, one of my really good friends is on, and she has a daughter who just graduated with 2021. And so, I'm not sure if there are any other parents that are online tonight that are just curious about what is it like from the parents' perspective. Because we hear from the admin, we hear from the students, but being that mama who's allowing your child to go to Savannah, and if you're in North Georgia, and that's several hours away, if she would like to, and if you have just a few seconds of time, if she doesn't mind, she don't mind if she will unmute and maybe tell us just a little bit about the experience as a parent at Savannah State University.
Good evening, Miss Calhoun, and I assume that you are speaking about me.
I am.
I am Latoya Carter, and Mr. Tyson, my daughter Jatea Carter, just graduated in May with a forensic science degree with the emphasis in biology. She did her 4 years. She did her 4 and done. She was also a CA for a couple years as well, but my experience as a parent of Savannah State University student, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I have another child that is attending at Georgia Southern. Completely, totally different experience. When I say that Savannah State really loves on their kids, when I say it's family. When I say it's just like you're walking into class, like with your mother or, you know, your extended family member. They really keep their hands on their students, even as far as like the advisor. She had Miss Jones as her advisor, and like she was, I mean, Miss Jones basically had an open door policy. Um, Jatea was always in there. A couple times, you know, I may be on the phone while Jatea was in there with her advisor. And Miss Jones and I, you know, it's like we built a relationship where we would just kind of joke. And she's like, I'm tired of seeing her here, or here she is again. But, you know, she always was there to guide her, give her what she needed, even if it was that loving, you know, correction. So just dealing with financial aid. She had one incident. She was at what Mr. Tyson had described. She was at the female dorm her first year. Um, and she was on the bottom floor, and there was an incident that happened. I mean, the campus security, I mean, everybody was on it. Like, they were very vigilant with getting that addressed. So I don't know if anyone has any specific questions, but just the whole process, I didn't worry. That was her first time being away from home. And as Ms. Calhoun said, being up in North Georgia, you know, that's a 5-hour drive, you know, one way. But I didn't worry about anything. Even as I said, with financial aid, she had a couple questions, some things that didn't happen as they, you know, should, as we thought they did. They walked her through that and was able just to meet with her and get her what she needed. So when I say I have a child that's at Georgia Southern and I have a child that's at Savannah State, it's completely different. It's a completely different experience from a parent.
Thank you, Ms. Latoya. And that is really good to get that validation. Because, you know, and I tell people all the time, I'm like, you know, we all kinds of special at Savannah State. If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. If you it's like Ms. Latoya said, it's like we're a family. And you know, with every family, you have varying levels of dysfunction. We're not perfect, but we want to be perfect for you. And I want you to think about how your story will contribute to the wider story of Savannah State University that will be told years from where we are right now. And so thank you, Ms. Latoya, for that feedback. It was really invaluable. And we love our parents that love on us and hold us by the hand, like, you know what, y'all doing a good job. It's gonna be all right.
Exactly. And one thing I did want to say is that she came out of her shell at Savannah State. When I say she came out of her shell, just I'm not going to list through just the different activities and things that she was involved in, but I mean, she came out of her shell. I wish she was here, but she's actually on her way back from Hawaii, so she should be coming in any moment. But she could probably, you know, definitely be more detailed than what I, you know, am. But she definitely came out of her shell, and it's definitely it's so many activities there available for you, you know, to be involved.
Mhm. And one other thing that I would say is that, you know, you get out of your college experience whatever you put into it. So there are so many opportunities for you to get involved. Don't forget your adult allies on campus, because it's always good to have somebody on in your corner. You're gonna have when you get here, you're gonna have a whole gaggle of aunties and uncles. And so people that want to love up on you. Now, see, you know, people just think about the admissions office when they're trying to get in, but don't forget about us, because sometimes we might know of who has like student employment opportunities on campus, or who might be hiring for work study, or sometimes we might, depending on budget and our staffing needs, might have work study positions to offer on campus. So don't forget about us. You know, I'm here on the second floor of Hill Hall, the old white building on the front end of campus. So definitely come by and definitely say hey and all that good stuff.
And student employment was great for her. That was awesome. We didn't have to pay room and board anymore. That was awesome.
Thank you so much. Okay, so I just got word from Ms. Calhoun that our next school is here. Now I can talk all night. So in fact, what I'm going to do is go get me something to eat before I fall out on y'all. But thank you so much for having me. It was indeed an honor and pleasure to be with you all. Ms. Calhoun, don't forget to email me so I can get you some goodies so we can get to the good people in our audience tonight. And thank you so much for having me. And my contact information is in the chat. The link to the application is there. Also, if you're trying to get in for the fall, the application deadline is June 30th, next Wednesday. Let's get it in there. So thank you all so much. Have a wonderful rest of the evening.
Thank you so much. I'll be in touch really soon.
I'm gonna hold you to it. Thanks, y'all. Have a good night.
Thank you. If everyone else can just hold tight, if you want to take just a few seconds just to go maybe do a bio break for a moment. Our next school, the University of West Georgia, has arrived, and I will be allowing Miss Teresa Gonzalez will be the admissions recruiter who will be speaking to you. So take a few